Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm talking about the Neural DSP Nano Cortex. So I heard something smaller was coming from Neural, and the reason I'm interested in these devices myself is because I travel light and I have an acoustic guitar with an electric guitar output with magnetic pickups in it. And that's the reason that I've tried the Boss IR2, the little pod, new pod this year from Line 6, and also the Tonex. The small Tonex pedal, the Tonex 1. It's because I want that portability. Now, the reason the companies make these, of course, is they design the flagship hardware and then they break it down to smaller pieces to sell to more people. Think Line 6 with the Helix. They had the flagship Helix and then broke that into many different products. It makes a lot of sense. You do your R&D on the main product and then you release other ones. I'm always hoping that there'll be an even smaller version of the pedal that I love that still does enough to get me through a gig. You can argue the Quad Cortex is already small. That's why I love it. The Quad Cortex is small. It can power a band. Right now I'm using it as my audio interface. It's absolutely amazing. I love that product. But the thought of an even smaller portable product would suit my needs. However, that's not what we got. What we got was a capture device. That's what this is. It captures things. It doesn't have their modeling built in, which I think is a shame because I love their models. In fact, I use the models all the time. I don't really want to use captures. So with this, you could capture the Quad Cortex and take that with you, but it just seems like a hassle to me. Anyway, it's got one reverb, one delay, it's one modulation. It's very stripped back. You'll see when we go into the app. Having said that, this could get me through a gig with some work and some other pedals. At that point, I think I'd rather take the Quad Cortex. But for my particular need of just powering that guitar I mentioned earlier through this, it could be an option, although it is bigger than the other products. But since I love Neural's sounds, maybe I'll go with this. So I'm going to explore it now with my electric guitar, just to show you basically what it does and how it compares to the full Quad Cortex. So when you load it up, you get an app, which is interesting because you don't get an app on the Quad Cortex. I really wish you did. I'll talk about this in another video, how this pedal has many features in it that I feel are missing from the Big Brother. I mean, look at this app. It looks awesome. You do have the controls on the unit. They're also reflected on the screen. I love that because the other pedals I mentioned earlier don't have app control. The pod just got it, but it is wired. This is wireless app control. That's the big selling point for me. So you can make your changes there on the touch screen or from the device. So if I turn level on the device, you'll see it will turn on the screen and indicate with that number, which is very nice. So Neural can make really nice looking apps. So I'd love to see this for the Quad Cortex. Anyway, like I said, another video. You've got presets here and you've got 2-foot switches and you can assign switching to them. They are gapless, and I believe the reason is that these are captures, and captures use way less DSP than models. If they put their models in this, it would need more processing, it would be more expensive. That's what it comes down to. So the way you edit this is to swipe up. It took me a while to realize that. So you've got your capture there, and you've got different banks of captures. Then you've got your cab, then you've got your effects. So a noise gate, pitch shifter, modulation, delay, and a reverb. So there's only one of those. You don't get all the reverbs from Quad Cortex. You get a reverb. It's a good reverb though. Here's the thing. The effects they've chosen here are effects that I would mostly use. So having one effect is not a deal breaker for me. Let me show you what they sound like. So here's just the neural capture and a cab. And this is, you can see on the screen what they are. I'll just play through a few. So as you can hear, the controls work well. I was adjusting the EQ and the gain and the level there to keep things balanced, and it's pretty good. So let me try the effects now. Everything's very flexible, even though they're captures and not models. So now I'll quickly run through the effects so you can hear what they sound like. So I think it's great. There's things for me like the delay is not my favorite delay. I'd rather have just a digital delay. I don't want the modulation. And the transpose works great on gainy stuff, but not on clean. I play a lot of clean, so I don't really need the noise gate. I want to have clean with a great reverb. So what I'm trying to do, I can do here. I could capture my real amp. I could capture my favorite setting of the Quad Cortex. And I could get a reverb going that I like enough. But for me, I think I would have preferred a pedal with the modeling. The modeling and more of their effects. But at that point, is it not worth just taking the Quad Cortex? I don't know. I can see who this is for. If you have a pedal board and you like captures, say you own a lot of tube amps and you want to capture them and take them with you. We have pedals like the Tonex, of course, and the Kemper Profiler Player that I've reviewed. I do like the way the neural stuff sounds. So that's why I was interested in this pedal. I don't really want to capture, and I think I do want more effects. So I don't think this will work for me. I don't know. I'm going to try it. I've got some other options that I'm still auditioning, so I'm going to try that and I'll see. But certainly not a bad product, but not the product that I and many people were hoping for. That's how I feel. There's also a tuner, which is super responsive. It comes up on the phone screen, as you can see, and it's super responsive because the screen on the phone is way more responsive than the screen on the Quad Cortex because the phones have amazing 120 hertz display, OLED display. The Quad Cortex display doesn't have that. Again, another feature I wish was on the Quad Cortex. This is a very polished, nicely made product. Of course, they'll add firmware updates to it, but this is basically a mini capturing pedal. If that's what you want to do with the utmost portability and to save some money from the full Quad Cortex or similar, then this is a great option. But that's what this is. No more, no less. Is it for me? I'll try it with my rig that I got it for, and I'll see if it's going to work for me. And if not, I'll move it on. But I'm glad Neural have more stuff out. I'm glad they're releasing more firmware for Quad Cortex. Something like this may slow them down a little bit, but will also bring in more revenue to help them make more updates to Quad Cortex. Maybe. Well, only time will tell. We'll see. Yeah, an interesting week, interesting ad campaign, interesting comments. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's been so much talk about this, so many videos on all ends of the spectrum. I want to throw in my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. It's been great to try this out. Once again, another way to amplify your electric guitar. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.